Oh, Tuesday, we're back at it. It's 9 o'clock on the dot. Good morning, and I hope all of you guys brought your umbrella because it's raining pretty good out there. I'm glad I brought my second case of hairspray just in case, it washes out and then all of a sudden it burns your eyes and then we're all in a mess. Hey, look, we're decorating a little bit. As you can see, we're going to keep adding on to it as we creep closer and closer to the spookiest day of the year for us in Alton, Halloween, and we're going to have fun doing it. And we got rid of the paperweight that was sitting next to me so I can lean back a little bit and relax, and really looking forward to that. Hey, we got a great show in front of us. We got John Hopkins, Dick Alford. The Service Above Self Award is going to be awarded October 20th, only 9 times in its 100 years since its formation with the Alton Godfrey Rotary have they presented this award. So we're going to talk to Dick Alford and John Hopkins about the award and all the things that Dick's done in his life, which I'm really looking forward to getting to in just a few short minutes following Dick and John. We got Luis Noya to give us a recap on the tragedy that unfolded upon us at Busch Stadium last weekend. Plus, hey, he's in the clubhouse for the Blues too, and he's going to give us a little bit of some insight heading into the season ahead for us, and we're going to get all the latest from Luis. And then in the 10 o'clock hour, we got Treehouse Wildlife back in the studio because Owlfest this weekend. I know, it's one of their biggest events of the year, and just all of a sudden kind of came upon us, so we made a phone call and we got them right back on the show because it is really just a great event. So I'm really looking forward to all of what that conversation entails too. And if you miss any part of the show, you can go to RiverBender.com/daily show and you can catch all of the ones that you might have missed. And thank you guys for tuning in yesterday for the best of September. We had so many interviews to choose from, and I mean so many that, well, to be honest with you, it was like, how do you pick, right? And how do you kind of format it? So I'm going to make some tweaks to those as we get more progressed with them. But, some great conversations nonetheless. But before we get to Dick and John, who are just standing outside waiting to talk to me, we're going to talk about the news here in the 9 o'clock hour. In Alton, the Alton Committee of a Whole held a brief meeting on Monday evening during which they approved the amount of motor fuel tax funds allocated for the purpose of maintaining streets and highways for 2022. They also passed a few other resolutions. However, with much of the committee absent, they decided to table a few items on tonight's agenda until their next meeting at 6 p.m. on October the 24th. One such item was a resolution to consider amending Title 4, Chapter 4, Section 4B of the City Code regarding Class A liquor license. Of the 7 total committee members, 3 were absent: Raymond Strable, Rosetta Brown, and Stephanie Elliott. In order to get input from all of the committee members regarding liquor licenses, they decided to lay this resolution over to their next meeting. And you can visit RiverBender.com and the Facebook page for a full recording of last night's, meeting. And in Alton, again, a man was conversing with a potential customer about a job with their light blue Chevrolet Silverado with an extended cabin trailer was stolen after 2:35 p.m. on Sunday, October the 9th in Alton. On 7th Street, the trailer was 14 feet long. The truck was owned by Cassie Winnicky, and Cassie has contacted law enforcement about the theft, and she said it was apparently spotted in St. Louis but separated from the trailer. Calvin Winnicky was the person who was talking to the customer in Alton when the truck and trailer were stolen. Anyone with information about the situation should contact Alton Police at 618-465-3505 or Calvin at 618-339-4261. And in Alton, again, Caleb Smith, the Director of Career and Technical Education for Madison County, Mike Bray, an Assistant Principal, and Director of Alton High's CTE program, both served as key hosts in a media day tour of the CTE program held at Alton last week. The tour was available for local legislators and media to allow the opportunity to see the students and programs in action by bringing them into their classroom and facilities. The event was also led by leaders of Alton CTE programs, showcasing students and skills they have learned in their respective programs. Mike Bray was quoted as saying Alton has the second largest CTE program outside of Collinsville. He said Alton's is one of the biggest in Southern Illinois. And in Alton, again, the St. Mary's Oktoberfest sweepstake winners were announced on Sunday night after a spectacular weekend over there on 3rd Street. The list of winners is attached, and on RiverBender.com, you can catch all of the pictures and really just catch up on the excitement that was. Coven Walker had the winning sweepstakes ticket and took home $10,000. Congratulations. Tony Keller had the second place ticket, good for $5,000. And Alicia Irwin won third place and $3,000. Carolyn Samansky, who we had on this show and public relations representative for Oktoberfest, said this about the overall weekend. We had a perfect Oktoberfest weather for 3 days, and it was a fabulous success. So congratulations to them. It's 9:05. Let's take a break because we got John Hopkins, Dick Alford waiting to get our conversation started. Service above self. We learned all about it and why they chose Mr. Alford right after this in the heart of the Riverbend.
Judge Ryan Jumper is a protector of the Second Amendment. As a supporter of law enforcement and an advocate of the Constitution, Ryan Jumper has the experience, knowledge, and dedication that we need in Madison County to uphold the law. Vote Ryan Jumper, Tuesday, November 8th, on the back of the ballot.
If you like to get out and go with a friend riding shotgun, Z-Force line of sports side-by-sides are the perfect machines for you. Whether exploring the backcountry or racing down the trails, these beasts flat out give you more without having to pay for more. Life's too short to stay home.
You in the market for new flooring? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and wood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with the utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat out the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices, located on Humbert Road in Alton.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBenderRadio.com.
Girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire.
We are right back at it in the heart of the Riverbend. That's downtown Alton on this Tuesday in the Riverbend, and we got a pretty good award to talk about. 2 great people joining me in studio, John Hopkins, Dick Alford. We have a really neat thing coming up in just a few short weeks for the first time. Well,
Ninth time.
Thank you, sir. For the 9th time in 100 years, which is really impressive. We're awarding the Service Above Self Award right here at the Rotary Dinner coming up, correct?
That is right, CJ. On the 20th of October at the Best Western Premier Hotel in Alton, the Rotary is giving out the Gordon Moore Service Above Self Award to our good friend Dick Alford, who's sitting right next to me.
Does he deserve it?
Without question, he deserves it.
I know, without a doubt.
That's probably questionable. Yeah, it's still up in the air.
Well, you definitely deserve it. All the work that you've done in our community for years and really making sure that we can all have, either a great experience at the, the Rock Springs, Christmas lights or all the other things you do. It's really just great. And let's just kind of get right into it. Let's talk about the event first. Let's set the table here. We'll do like Sophia and Golden Girls. Picture this, a couple weeks from now, Rotary Dinner.
Well, the dinner is on the 20th. It's a Thursday night at the Best Western Premier Hotel. And tickets are still available. They're $50 a piece. And not only that, sponsorships are available. If someone wants to call me at 618-616-7969, sponsorships are available. And the important thing is the money that is raised through the sponsorships and through the dinner go to our scholarship programs. They go to our what is called the William Moyer Scholarship, which is for industrial arts students at Lewis and Clark. And then there's the Student of the Year Scholarship that we also. This is a way to help fund our scholarship program.
Absolutely. And how long have you guys been doing the scholarship program? Because that has to be decades and decades, correct?
The scholarship program itself has been around for about 20 years.
That's what I thought.
But the Moyer Scholarship came in 2012 when I was the president. We put it in then.
Really cool. And let's just, Dick, if you could, I want to ask you, how does it feel to take home this award? I mean, every time I see a publication about some of the things that you do, you're pretty humble about, all the work. But I mean, this is something to really celebrate as your service to us.
It is. It's it was quite an honor when John first asked me, told me about the Service Above Self Award, and asked me if he would like to include me in that. I basically said, there's got to be people out there that more deserving than I am. And of course, John, the way he is, he goes, yeah, but they were all out of town. So
I love it.
It came back on me. But I'm very, very honored and very humbled, especially when you look at some of the past recipients of the award. Their names are synonymous with Alton. They're, leaders. So very honored and very humbled.
Absolutely. And John, we were talking about some of the past recipients. Do we care to highlight those now if we could?
Well, the past recipients are people like Paul Lowski, Jack Jacoby, Jack Helmkamp, Joanne Shepard, Linda Neville, and people along those lines. But the key of it is it's named after Gordon Moore, who was a well-known civic entrepreneur here in Alton. And service above self is the motto of the Rotary. And that if Dick had taken one of my overtures to join the Rotary that I gave to him many, many times over many, many years, he wouldn't have to be sitting here because he would not be eligible.
That's
but
right.
It's for a non-Rotarian, someone who has gone out and places him service to the community above themselves.
Absolutely. And I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the qualifications and some of your criteria, because that's a great segue into it. Does this have to be someone, does it depend on the tenure or the length of their charitable work? Is it just, how long does how does that play into your guys' decision making?
Well, if someone were to come in town and give the city of Alton $17 million, I would consider that to be tremendous service above self, and he or she would be qualified immediately.
Gotcha.
That wasn't me.
Oh,
but on the normal,
we'll get there.
On normal, it is a lifetime achievement award.
Absolutely. And let's talk about the dinner some more. So when someone buys tickets, because it's a limited time available, this is a couple of days left for ticket sales and some sponsorships. So act quick, because this thing always fills up. And I see the pictures. I really just appreciate all that you guys do to really inspire students and inspire the community to kind of keep working together and grow together. And what does some of that dinner entail? What are we going to see that evening? Can you take us through that?
Well, it's I can sort of do it in the reverse.
Ooh.
There will be limited speeches. There will be no political speeches.
I like it.
There will be no political introductions. There will be no, it'll be a nice, short evening. It'll be a fine dinner. Some music will be played during the dinner. And then some speeches. The past recipients, both living and deceased, will be acknowledged at that time. And then Dick and his family will be acknowledged. And then Dick has to stand up and give a very short 45-minute speech.
45-minute speech.
I love it. This is great. Well, and I got to ask you here, how many types of awards like this have you been presented? Is this the first time you've ever been presented with something like this?
As far as this service above self, yes, I was honored to be the Memorial Day Parade Grand Marshal one time. So that was very exciting, and I was happy to do that. But as far as personal awards, can't say that I've had a lot of them.
Well, and if I read something correctly, aren't you going to be the Grand Marshal of the Halloween Parade in a couple of weeks?
Well, the Grandpa Gang, quote, will be the Grand Marshals, so hopefully there'll be 10, 15. If I can get all of them on a wagon and in our truck, they'll all be in the parade. So it's not just about me. It'll be about the whole Grandpa Gang.
Absolutely. And if we could, can we talk a little bit about your charitable work and some of the things that you do for the community? Is that okay right now if we kind of lead into that and circle back to the event?
Sure. The Rotary is responsible for so many things. You can take a look right out near City Hall. The Centennial Park is going up. In our neighborhood, we have the Haskell Pavilion that the Rotary built. The statue of Robert Wadlow is something that we've been responsible for. The statues of Lincoln and Douglas downtown.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, those are all Rotary projects. Wow. But if I can circle back to use your phrase, The reason why Dick was selected is real simple. Every town in America should have a Dick Alford in their neighborhood.
Without a doubt.
But unfortunately, most don't. But fortunately for us, we do. So we acknowledge the fact that he is just the kind of guy who you always call on, and he's there to help out.
Without a doubt. And I mean, there's so many times. I mean, what people don't realize, and that's why I love doing this show, is, so many of, the younger generations that, kind of grew up with me, we don't really understand all the people that are behind the scenes making the Christmas tree lights at, Rock Springs Park and all these other events that we've come to love available to us. And that's why it's so real. It's actually just phenomenal for me to be able to talk to you guys and really get some behind the scenes type of insight when it comes to this. And, Dick, I'm going to ask you, what's some of the most proud moments you've had doing with some of the projects that you've been a part of, with the Grandpa Gang, the other things and other organizations you've been working with and have worked for in the city? What's one of those moments you kind of always reflect upon and go, that's a winner?
Well, I tell you, if you want to get to the Grandpa Gang, which is probably the most recent, which a lot of people know about, just some of the responses you get from the people that go through, but probably one of the biggest ones that I can remember that really kind of tears at your heartstrings or whatever. We're busy putting up lights in a truck, pulls up with a couple little boys in the window. They're just driving through, and this is before we've started. This is why we're still putting up lights. And the one little boy leans out the window and says, "Thank you, Grandpa Gang." And then another little boy leans out the window and says, "We love you, Grandpas." And then they drive off. So that kind of makes you feel like it's really worthwhile to do that, just for the children and everybody to enjoy that.
Without a doubt. And I wanted to kind of lead into that because we got to take a break here where everyone's already on their seat because we got some more stuff to talk about. The event's coming up. We're going to circle back to it. It's a night that we're all kind of wanting to be a part of because once you give so much to the community, every once in a while it's good to have a night for you where we can kind of show some love back to you and all the great things that you've done for us. So why don't we do this? We're going to take a break and we'll come back with more of our conversation right after this in the heart of the Riverbend. That's downtown Alton.
I felt connected to this place.
It is about intellectual curiosity and people who want to work with faculty mentors and delve into these areas they're interested in.
And it gives the chance for students to develop a more full version of themselves.
Lewis and Clark for me is going to be the place that I found myself.
Insurance agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a health new you.
Are you in the market for new? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with the utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat out the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices. Located on Humbert Road in Alton.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet. I hardly know it.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, Visit AltonToyota.com or stop at their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers and will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options, even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com. Judge Ryan Jumper was recommended and highly rated in the most recent poll conducted by the Illinois State Bar Association. Ryan Jumper is a supporter of law enforcement and an advocate for the Constitution. Join me in voting for Judge Ryan Jumper on Tuesday, November 8th on the back of the ballot.
When it comes to the C-Force line of ATVs, there truly is a seat for every behind. Whether you want to get started with the easy-to-ride C-Force 400 or ride with the big boys on the C-Force 800 XC, you'll find the right machine for you and your wallet.
We are right back at it. Our conversation's rolling on. And guys, how much fun has this been? A lot to talk about because just in a few short weeks, that's actually 10 days from now, October 20th, we're going to be recognizing Dick Alford's service above self and quite frankly, definitely deserved. And before we get back into your story, we definitely want to remind you guys, tickets are still available for a limited time, a couple more days left on that, and you can get tickets right here online. That's the way to do it because, hey, we got to act fast. AltonGodfreyRotary.org. That's AltonGodfreyRotary.org. And, Dick, I got to ask you, I'm reading through some of the things because we prepare, even though people try to say, they go, CJ, there's no way that you ever look at anything. And I go, I do, I promise. It might not come off clean, but I try, you know. And one thing that kind of blew me away was this quote that was in your bio. And that's, I figured nobody owed me anything. I had served the country for 2 years, and it was now time to move on. And I wanted to ask you about that. Do you remember that?
Briefly, I do. Yeah, I kind of remember that saying. That'd be something that I would probably say. But yeah, I served my time in military. Unfortunately, I was drafted at that time. Pretty much everybody that I knew, you dropped out of school, and it didn't take long for you to be part of the military. And was drafted, and pretty much knew where I was going to be going, and so. Did all I could to help the cause, I guess, so to speak, and ended up in Vietnam.
And not only Vietnam, but one of the most famous or infamous offensives or battles in that conflict, and that's the Tet Offensive. Do you care to talk about your? I mean, if it's okay with you, I definitely don't want to put you on the spot.
No, that's fine. I was there during Tet Offensive. Got there first part of January and spent the next 4.5-5 months there during Tet Offensive, which was one of the worst times, I guess, during the Vietnam War. And was wounded and was shipped home after 5 months and spent the next 8 months to a year in the hospital and in physical therapy and medical holding company waiting to be discharged. So.
Wow. And do you think, and I'm just kind of, correlating things or trying to, because, do you think some of that, time that you were, being, fixed and worked on in the hospital, does that kind of, do you think that's why you're, so generous with your time and really just, apt to help and really share that, love that you have for everyone, it seems like, in the community?
Well, I think some of that is true. You hear about during any war, you hear about the deaths and that's a terrible thing. Vietnam, 58,220 deaths.
Right.
So you always hear about that, but you don't necessarily see the men and women that are alive, but yet are crippled and maimed in other ways for the rest of their life. Somehow those people are forgotten. And so while my time in the hospital, you see a lot of that. And now, years and years later, with the other conflicts we've had, you see the young men that go over and come back. And I go to the VA hospital for certain things, and you see these young men, and I think people tend to forget about them. That's why I'm a proud member of the Wounded Warrior Project. I like to support that project because they look after some of the men and women that were injured in Vietnam. So I think that's very important, and I'm really glad to see that the military in the U.S. has kind of stepped up and helped the returning veterans now that we didn't get when Vietnam was there.
Well, and if we can, I mean, I don't want to take, too much time away from all the other things that I definitely want to get across. For, about 2 years, I actually produced a, veteran show in St. Louis that was run, and we kind of did this stuff with the VA. And just to hear some of the stories of, someone coming back from Vietnam and, some of the, distaste that even our, own citizens had for some of the veterans coming back from conflicts. How important is it that you've seen some of those drastic changes at the VA? Has it gotten better, do you think, for a veteran coming back?
I think it has gotten a lot better for the the younger gentlemen and ladies that have come. We were proud to serve our country, but when we came back, that same pride kind of slipped away, and you just didn't talk about it because it was such a rough time for a lot of people, and nobody wanted to hear about it basically. So we just didn't talk about it. We just kind of moved on with our life.
Absolutely. And I'd be remiss not to ask you about some of the other memorable events and organizations that you're a part of throughout the course of the year. You do Wreaths Across America.
Correct.
And so many different things. Can you shed some light on that with us? Some of the other things that you're participated in and always kind of lended a hand to.
Sure. I participated in Wreaths Across America that you just mentioned. I guess I've been involved with that for a number of years. As long as it's been going on, I guess. So I am involved in that. I am involved in the flags that we put out for up and down Henry Street, up and down the Middletown area. I'm kind of like the Margaret Hopkins, John's wife, likes to call me Captain America because I make sure the flags are looking good, so I take care of those flags as much as I can.
That's incredible.
And so that's just another part, I think, that involved in the park department with the city of Alton. Just I thought maybe something I could do to help there. So I try to get involved with the things that I think I can help out with.
Absolutely. And John, I got to ask you, we've already said that, Dick, you're a little bit more humble and, how, all the great work that you've done. And I really mean that. And John, if you could, what are some of the things that we're missing that maybe we haven't hit on yet from Dick? Because there's so many times, just when you walk down the street, you can always change someone's day by a smile or just by, taking groceries in for somebody. Is there anything like that you see that we don't talk about too much?
No, I think as I said, Dick is a watchdog. He's kind of his and Chris' house is right across from Haskell Park.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of stands over there like Batman up on top of the building, making sure that the park is taken care of, and especially our Rotary Pavilion. And it's been up now for almost 7 years. And despite some naysayers, there's not a drop or there's not a line of graffiti on it because Batman is protecting it.
Well, that's incredible. And, we only have a couple of minutes left as I'm seeing, even though I keep telling people, I go, well, we'll go about 20 minutes, then a half hour later, we're still here talking. And especially when it comes to a great, conversation like this. But once again, let's circle back just to the dinner that night. What are the funds going to and the proceeds?
The dinner raises funds, and we use the profits and especially the scholarship money, or especially the sponsorship money, goes to our scholarships, the general scholarship for the students of the year, as well as more particularly the scholarship that is used for the Moyer scholarship for the industrial arts scholarship. But let me, if you don't mind, the tickets are available through still at Carrollton Bank,
okay,
Schiffel Boyle, Karen Wilson State Farm, Online, as you talked about, are Norton Rain Insurance, or you can call John Rain at 618-462-4455, or Steve Tassinari. They're actually the chairman of the group at 618. Steve Tassinari is 618-466-5474, or go online if you suggested. And if anybody's interested in helping out with a sponsorship, they can call me directly at 616-7969. And that at the program, there's no levels of sponsorship. This isn't a political event. Everybody who gives any amount will be listed as a sponsor on the back of the program.
That's incredible because, I have noticed that it seems like, it's like when you try to sponsor, you got to compete with about 45 other people for these tiers. And sometimes that's like a World Cup soccer match right there.
Yeah.
But,
we wanted to get away from that and just say,
right. That's a great idea.
All amounts are accepted, and that the money helps defray the cost, and it goes directly to the scholarship program.
Do we have time to talk about the scholarship program real quick, just to kind of, I've always been curious about that. It seems like you always pick out some of these students that really do deserve it above, pretty much, I would say 90% of the others because of how much work they're doing.
Right.
What are some of the guidelines for that?
Well, the guidelines are pretty flexible, but the situation is that every month there is a student of the month. There are, myself right here, I think there are 12 from Alton High and 6 from Marquette, and then a couple from Mississippi Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of the month are then put into a pool, if you want, and then from that, the student of the year is picked, and the student of the year gets a scholarship that's paid out over a period of 4 years. In addition to that, now we have the Industrial Arts Scholarship that is paid, and that's also for a period of 2 years at Lewis and Clark.
Wow, that's incredible. And, before we wrap up, I got to ask you, Dick, just for somebody, in my generation, I think that we can all kind of agree in here that there's a consensus that maybe my generation's kind of lost that, the way of community a little bit. And I'm a kind of an advocate for that too. I think my generation really needs to get back out there, learn our history, help each other out, and really lend a hand. What's your advice for somebody, and that's young like me that, maybe thinks, well, how do I start? What do I do? If we have a chance to help, what's your your guidance? What's your kind of line for us, for the younger crowds?
I mean, there's so many things available to volunteer for that you can get involved in, and you can go through your city administration to see what's going on, or you can there's so many, the Rotary or a lot of these organizations that are out there will always have something to do, like citywide cleanup, something like that, or even with the Grandpa Gang, we have volunteers that man the booths every night, and we're always looking for different groups that want to do that. So it's not hard to find something to do. You just have to kind of get up and say that you want to do it and help out and volunteer to do these things.
Absolutely. And one more time, let's call to action this again, because this is a great event. We're honoring Service Above Self. Dick Alford, you're the recipient, and a busy month for you because now you got to wrangle up the Grandpa Gang and get the Halloween parade ready to go, huh?
That's right. Correct.
Looking forward to that too. And yours truly might be announcing that Halloween parade. I haven't told people that yet.
Well, let's go. Again, the best way to get tickets at this date might well be the online. That's at altongodfreyrotary.org.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an app that will take you through it, and you can press on and tell you how to get the
It's
tickets.
actually quite accessible. I did check it out before you guys came in. It's really easy to click on, really easy to find.
I take no credit for that.
Oh, okay. And sponsorships are still available. What's that number to call again?
My cell phone number to call me if you're interested in a sponsorship is 618-616-7969, and we have been very blessed to have a number of people have already gotten in with their sponsorships, but everyone and anyone who gives us a sponsorship will be listed on the program.
Absolutely. And well, guys, once again, thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you so much for sharing with us some of your story. And
thank you.
Congratulations, because you really do deserve it. Even a young guy like me can read the newspaper and see who's really, playing a big part of our community. And just really great, John, that you guys are highlighting, Dick, with a great award for a great career in community service, and above all else, right?
Yep. Thank you very much.
And I got a question for you real quick. Do you guys like Cardinals baseball?
Sure.
Yes, I'd like to also thank the Cardinals for stinking up so that we don't have to compete with them on Thursday night, the 20th.
That's a good call. And the reason I was asking you guys that is because Luis Noya was down at Busch both nights of disappointment in the Cardinals clubhouse. He got some conversation with Yachty and Albert Pujols. We hear all about it right after this quick break in the heart of the Riverbend on this Tuesday in downtown Alton.
If you like to get out and go with a friend riding shotgun, the C-Force line of sports side-by-sides are the perfect machine for you. Whether exploring the backcountry or racing down trails, these beasts flat out give you more without having to pay for more. Life's too short to stay home.
Are you in the market for new flooring? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with the utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat out the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices, located on Humbert Road in Alton.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
I just got a new air conditioner, top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I. Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Once I got here to Lewis and Clark, I felt connected to this place.
It is about intellectual curiosity and people who want to work with faculty mentors and delve into these areas they're interested in.
And it gives the chance for students to develop a more full version of themselves.
Lewis and Clark for me is going to be the place that I found myself.
Wrong microphone. I changed them all up and it threw me off. We're right back at it in the heart of the Riverbend. That's downtown Alton on this 11th day of October. And man, what a rainy morning. Hey, text into the text line 618-759-7469, 618-759-7469. And let me know what your guys' rainy day habits are. You know, for me, I'm going to be honest with you. There's nothing better when it's raining outside. You know, it has to be after at least 12 o'clock. I at least have standards. And if I have nothing going on that day, it's movies and maybe a little bit of a, Coors Light or a bottle of wine, and then you're just watching movies all day long. That's my thing. Whenever it's pouring down rain, maybe it's a little bit colder outside, isn't much going on. That's what I do. So I'm curious to hear what you guys do with it. 618-759-7469. We got a couple of texts from the 618 and 314 wanting to talk about how good the interview was and how great that conversation was. I completely agree. And, to have, individuals like Mr. Alford and Mr. Hopkins, really in our community is great, and really happy with that conversation. Coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, we got Treehouse Wildlife back in with Kelly. She's going to talk all about Owlfest, and hey, I lied to you guys. Luis just called me. They're having a little bit of some, I guess you could say, traffic issues on in the Missouri roadways today, which was why I'm thankful I don't have to go there anymore, and I can be here hanging out with you guys and not fighting traffic. So we're gonna interview Luis about the upcoming Blues season, and then the Cardinals collapse last weekend, about 10:30, 10:45 to help wrap up the show. But wanted to make sure that I didn't fool you guys on that one. We just had to kind of move with the punches. And while we do that, because we have time, I get to talk about really just some astonishing individuals. Where do we start? All right, here we go. Down to our Floridian friends. A Florida canine police dog captured a man wanted for kidnapping after sniffing out the suspect, well, underneath a pile of garbage. The dog named Gator Gator with the Brevard County Sheriff's Office found David Holloman, 31, hiding from deputies inside a laundry room. Gator, well, he latched onto Holloman on the upper arm, causing the suspect to cry and quickly give up. Holloman had to get stitches for his injuries, said the sheriff. And the sheriff also said, Wayne Ivey, quote, "We will send a dog in to take a bite out of crime." They waited for that one. He was waiting for the right moment to drop that line, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. But to the criminal in Florida, you're an all-star. Hey, another all-star is the new iPhone. A new feature on the iPhone 14 is alerting police to potential car crashes, but it's turning out a roller coaster ride is very similar to a car crash. For an iPhone 14, at least, the iPhone 14's new crash detection feature senses high G-force acceleration, rapid deceleration, or sudden stops to detect when the user has been in a car crash. If those warning signs are detected, the phone will display an alert for 10 seconds before starting a 10-second countdown and alarm sound. The iPhone then will automatically dial 911 and share the location of the device if the user does not shut off the alarm during the 10-second warning. Police in Ohio were called to the Kings Island amusement park 6 times last month when the new safety feature automatically alerted authorities mistaking the fast and jerking motions and movements of the coaster for for a car accident. And by all means, the police were not amused. That's kind of a bad pun. All right, couple more all-stars for you. We got some good ones today. There's a voting scandal. Again, rocking another competition. Well, there's voter fraud scandal at the Fat Bear Week. Yeah, that's true. Fat Bear Week is a bracket-style competition. I know where your guys' minds are leading. Designed to name the fattest bear in Alaska, Katami National Park, which is home to over 2,200 brown bears for 1 week in October. And all that week ends today, Tuesday. The public gets out to vote for their favorite bear as they watch on live cam as it fills up on salmon and from the park's rivers. Last week, the Katmai National Park Twitter account announced that Holly, a bear that's 435, had triumphed over an unnamed male bear. 747 was his number in a semifinal. Only to retract her win a day later. They announced that someone had to stuff the ballot box in favor of Holly. The park's I'll get through this. The park's account tweeted, "Fortunately, it is easy for us to tell which votes are fraudulent," and they said they tossed the bogus votes out. Unnamed bear 747, sometimes called, well, Bear Force 1, was actually the winner of the particular semifinal matchup. Holly, Bear Week before in 2019, previous winner of Fat Bear Week include that same bear that was cheated out of the semifinal, 747, Otis and Breadnose. Well, there you go. And one last all-star for you. I'm going to let you guys decide who we give this one out to. Back in June, this story is just now coming to the surface. A 65-year-old woman in Japan met a man on social media who claimed to be working on the International Space Station. The woman then got into deep communication with the man, and he began telling her such things as, "I want to move to Japan and start a new life. And even if I say it 1,000 times, it won't be enough. But I'll keep saying I love you." Isn't that a song quote? And eventually, "Will you marry me when I come to Japan?" Then sometime around August, the man requested money to return to Earth. He Oh no, this poor woman. He he requested that he need money to return to Earth. He explained to her life on the ISS, or International Space Station, is pay your own way deal, and he needed to cover the cost of a rocket back and landing fees. No way. The woman made 5 bank transfers over 5 days, totaling about 4.4 million yen, so only about $30,000, to cover 30 grand to cover the boyfriend's rocket ship back home. Wow, that's incredible. However, when he continued to ask for money after the 30 grand, well, she grew suspicious and, realized that she had been scammed. So you know what? I don't know if who do you give the All-Star Award for that one to? It's not American Idol here, but we got some tough criteria sometimes. Sometimes I think I should just put it out there on a poll on the screen. And don't pop on me like that. We'll put like a poll up there on the screen, and let you guys decide. But yeah, so I don't know which one I'm kind of leaning towards on this one. I'm thinking the woman is the all-star for not realizing that the International Space Station is not pay to play. I can't, unless they can let me go up there tomorrow, I just would have to have it bankrolled by somebody. But that's okay. Hey, wanted to share this with you too while we have time. 618-759-7469. Let me know your rainy day habits. I think that's a good conversation. Like I told you, mine's a bottle of wine and maybe a Coors Light if we don't have wine, and I watch some movies all day long. Might, get some work done on the computer, early on in the day. But that's kind of my, one of my favorite things to do when it rains. So let me know what you guys' rainy day stuff is. I can't even see outside right now because we're in the basement. So if it's not raining anymore, just text me and say, CJ, you can stop the rain talk. Okay, it stopped about a half hour ago. But I wanted to share with you this. These are a couple of lists that I found that are actually astonishing. A study by Reboot SEO Agency has determined, the sexiest bald man of 2022. The, let's see. Do I have it still in here? Awesome. The factors. The study looks at a wide number of factors such as facial golden ratio, the popularity on Twitter, net worth, height, and most importantly, cranial shine factor. The 2022's top sexiest bald men are as follows. Number 10, Mike Tyson. Number 9, which I think's low. I can even admit when there's a good-looking guy. I think we all can. The Rock is number 9, Dwayne Johnson. Joe Rogan is 8, Bruce Willis 7. Jason Statham is 6, and Prince William, number 5. Must be the money. Pitbull is number 4. 3 is Shamir Moore, actor on TV show SWAT. And Stanley Tucci is number 2. And number 1 is Vin Diesel. That's going to make The Rock cry. Don't they have a few? The study says Diesel's head has a cranial luminance of 563 candelas per square meter, which means his head reflects... This is phenomenal. This means his head This is a real scientific study to determine this winner, which means that his head reflects light with 70% of the luminous intensity of a standard light bulb. Wow. That's incredible. Oh my goodness. So that means you can't take Vin Diesel to a movie theater. You'll never be able to see the screen. It just reflect off his head. So there you go. Those are the 10 sexiest bald men of 2022. Looks like some tough criteria. But you know what? There's a couple of them that I think kind of got stiff, like Patrick Stewart. Doesn't he kind of qualify still? Or doesn't Samuel L. Jackson, isn't he fully bald? I think he qualifies. I think there might be some fraudulent votes in that, just like there was for Bear Week. There you go. Hey, we have some time, so I wanted to tell you this. The rude things that you can do at somebody else's house. So they ran this study, right? And we all do it. We're all guilty, right? When we go into somebody's house, we all have our own set of rules at home. But when we go over, we kind of not treat it like a vacation, but, we won't follow, rule by rule what we do at our own house. Maybe, their rules are a little bit more lax than yours are, so you kind of can accommodate for it and all of that. But some of these are pretty good. And I'll just start off with it. So compiled by a list of publications, here are the rudest things you can do at someone else's house. And, sometimes we do things without realizing it either. And number one is touching and moving things. Oh, that would do me in. Don't pick up and touch somebody else's stuff and then not put it back where you found it. That's number one. Number two, feeding the dog. Now, is that disrespectful? I guess, yes, if they have their own eating habits and they have their own schedule. But if a dog comes up to me and wants a little snack, what's wrong with that? I'll give them a snack any day of the week. Anyway, that was number two. Number three, disrespecting shoe rules. That's a big one. I always ask now because you never know. People that got nice floors, they don't want my shoes all over it. Showing up empty-handed, expecting a tour of what house? You're going to your friend's ranch. I don't think ranch house. I don't think you need a tour of that. Hiding a mess, snooping, bringing an uninvited plus one, waiting to let the host know you have dietary restrictions, overstaying your welcome is number 10. And I think overstaying is probably the one that gets me the most, because you always know, there's always so many times that, someone's over at your house and you're trying so hard, and you're like hinting at them, hey, it's, I can't believe it's this late already. Or, man, I got to get up early for work. You got all this stuff to do. And, basically, they just don't leave. I totally get that one. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, that or moving my stuff without telling me. Just put it back. Just put it back. Hey, I got a question for you. And I think there's only one man that can answer it. That's Sean Lentz, my buddy, my good friend and attorney. That's one of the best when it comes to personal injury. What happens if someone moves one of your things when they come over to your house and they leave it right there on the middle of the floor? You slip, you fall back. Ooh, hospital time. Who do you call? Well, I'm calling Sean Lentz over at the Lentz Law Firm, 618-465-8000, 618-465-8000. Whether you need Sean in a criminal matter or a personal injury matter, he's got you covered. Now, Sean specializes in personal injury, but he does some traffic tickets, some DUI work. However, I would still save his number because let's say that you still don't have a lawyer for your litigation for a criminal matter. Sean's got an expansive contact book that reaches we're talking hundreds. He'll find somebody that will work just as hard as he would for you when it comes to your type of litigation. Your neighbor's going to give you the car guy. He's going to give you a lawn guy. He's never going to give you a good lawyer because people are scared of that. They don't want to take the chance, but I will, because Sean's been a hometown guy. His office right up there across from Centerstone. Decades of experience, great results to add on top of it too. Listen, when you work with Sean, you're working with your community. And let's be honest, you don't need to know a lawyer until you kind of need to know a lawyer. And take it from me, you don't want to be reactive in those situations. You want to be proactive. You want to be days and weeks ahead of your schedule by saving Sean's number now. 618-465-8000, 618-465-8000. He handles trucking cases, motorcycle accidents, medical malpractice, negligence, dog bites. The list goes on and on. Trucking accidents, trucking cases. There is nobody better when it comes to personal injury, and I mean that. The reviews speak for themselves. So give Sean a call today, or just stop by his office over there at 2600 Edward Street, or give him a call. Save his number, 618-465-8000, 618-465-8000. He's been my gift to you guys for quite a long time, and quite frankly, he's the gift that keeps on giving. Sean Lentz, the Lentz Law Firm, whether you need him now or in the future, he's the guy to call. We got Treehouse Wildlife coming up in just a few short minutes, but, before I do that, I definitely want to call to action that Luis Noya, we were doing our interview with Dick and John Hopkins, and Luis texted me and said, hey, traffic's looking a little rough right now. And I said, uh-oh, what are we doing? And he goes, 10:30. So we're going to talk Cardinals, their collapse this last weekend. We're going to recap their season a tiny, tiny bit. We're going to move on to the Blues because hockey's starting. NHL right around the corner. Luis Noya has that for you right after. We have Kelly on from Treehouse Wildlife. Owlfest is coming up in just a few short days. A great event, a staple event, and it's going to be a great thing to talk about. Really looking forward to that conversation as well. And all this week, we got great guests. We got Ty Beckel with the Mare. We got Steve Schwartz with the Halloween Parade. We have all of that and a lot more coming up. So right now, I want to tell you guys can comment anything you want to comment, and we'll talk about it after 10:30 today. That's 618-759-7469. And one last little bit of business I wanted to tell you guys about before we take the top of the hour break is that, Riverbender has one of the best apps around when it comes to, all your source of news, radio, entertainment. It's all there, all at a touch of a button. You can download the Riverbender app today. If you have a Roku TV, you're in luck. They got that too. And you can see yours truly on the big screen if you got a big TV. But if you don't, download it on your phone today. It's in the Apple Store or it's in the Google Play Store. Listen, you get local news, you get your radio stations from Riverbender Radio, you get the daily show, you get the daily news podcast, all of that and more, literally right at a touch of a button. You don't have to go find a different web address. It's all there. And you know what's funny? I was telling John this. This is something that major news agencies are starting to try, and very many can do, because it's just a knack that Riverbender has to create this innovative product that's really meant for all of us here in the heart of the Riverbend and the surrounding territories and communities. We have an extended network of a lot of towns and a lot of people. I've told people that we have a lot more of a population than we realize sometimes right here in the Madison County area and the areas that kind of extend by it. So all you can say is that whenever you download the Riverbender app, that yes, you had your daily dose of local. We're coming up on the top of the hour, and we'll come back with Kelly, Treehouse Wildlife, after this quick break in the heart of the Riverbend.
When I got here to Lewis and Clark, I felt connected to this place.
It is about intellectual curiosity and people who want to work with faculty mentors and delve into these areas they're interested in.
And it gives the chance for students to develop a more full version of themselves.
Lewis and Clark for me is going to be the place that I found myself.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new year.
In the market for new flooring? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with the utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat out the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices. Located on Humbert Road in Alton.
I just got a new air conditioner, top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Mungan Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Mungan Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Mungan Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank. the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, Bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com. Judge Ryan Jumper was recommended and highly rated in the most recent poll conducted by the Illinois State Bar Association. Ryan Jumper is a supporter of law enforcement and an advocate for the Constitution. Join me in voting for Judge Ryan November 8th on the back of the ballot.
When it comes to the C-Force line of ATVs, there truly is a seat for every behind. Whether you want to get started with the easy-to-ride C-Force 400 or ride with the big boys on C-Force 800 XC, you'll find the right machine for you and your wallet.
We are right back at it on this 11th day of October. It's 10:01. I almost said 10 o'clock on the dot, but it wasn't, and I would have gotten yelled at for being wrong again. But all I know is that Owlfest is coming up very shortly, and I want to hear all about it. Kelly's with us again, and thank you for coming back. I'm glad I didn't scare you off.
Thank you for having us back. It's a great opportunity to get our mission out there, and I do appreciate the time you take getting us involved.
I got to switch microphones out. It's way too far. And it's my fault. I normally do this beforehand. Hang it with me, guys. Hang loose. Hang loose. That one's mine. We're playing musical mics.
Okay, how's that?
That's perfect.
Okay.
Now we're good and ready to go. So when is Owlfest? It's this weekend, correct?
Owlfest is this weekend. It's 12 to 5 p.m. every Saturday and Sunday. We do still have some vendor spots. If you are an artisan vendor and make your own crafts, you are still welcome to apply for a vendor position.
And I wanted to ask you, how do they find that information? Do they email you?
They can go to our website, treehousewildlifecenter.com, and on the front page, it'll have a little blurb about Owlfest with the link that will take you to the Owlfest page, and our vendor applications on there. The link is also on our Facebook events page.
Now, I'm going to get in trouble because I think I asked you this before. How long has Owlfest been going on?
This is the 7th.
That's what I
seventh
thought.
One, yes.
I thought it was going on for a while because so many people really do like this event. And for someone who hasn't gone yet, shed some light on what people can expect there and what they can, all the festivities that are going to be flowing this weekend.
Okay. Well, we will have a food truck. El Mezcal from Bethalto has been a very big supporter of us. When we first started out Owlfest, they were willing to take a chance on us, and they've been loyal with us ever since. They have a food truck, so they'll have brats and hot dogs and a few different ethnic dishes. They'll have some vegan dishes. Then we will have the amazing Professor Longhair's Magic Show. He will be out doing balloon animals. He has donated many events. He's donated his time to come out and support us. We'll have a lot of local artisan vendors.
That's
so
cool.
You can start your early Christmas shopping. And we'll have animal ambassadors out for meet and greets. We'll have kids games. We have a lot of stuff going on. There'll be tours. This is the only time we have a full open house, so you'll be able to tour the clinic and go to the back where the rehabilitation buildings are, and you'll be able to learn a little bit more about our flight enclosure where we prepare our birds to be released back to the wild.
That is incredible. I mean, there's a lot going on there. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, I don't know. I'd probably watch the magic show more than anything else because once I start watching, it's hard to stop some of those. And, I wanted to ask you, numbers, and we're going to circle back to Treehouse. By the way, the vending booths, I keep telling people that's the place to get Christmas items. You'll never find them on Amazon, so why don't you get something that's unique and that's kind of community-based, so you're killing two birds with one stone.
Correct.
And you're able to kind of, support a good cause, too.
And for our vendors, we don't charge a vending fee. So our event is usually later in October. And so we don't really know what the weather's going to be.
Right.
A couple of years ago, the weather people said, worst storms coming that we've had all year, so don't leave your basement. And so we had a little bit lower of an attendance. but people still came out, and our vendors did wonderful. So.
Well, that's fantastic. And that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, you are kind of in that, weird weather pattern, part of the month where it seems like, yesterday it felt nice all day long. And then by 10 o'clock, it was 38 degrees. And I was wondering what happened. I thought maybe this was it for me and almost called the doctor. But I got to ask you, with all the stuff that this with Owlfest, what it entails, I mean, you guys have a really big sense of community with this. It's always great to, open up, the doors and let people come in and tour your facility so they can see all the great work you're doing. But talk to me about the community aspect, because I think that's really important, too, to really get, because, we were talking a little bit before, in St. Louis, if you guys are here, you'd be a multi-million-dollar, charity or non-for-profit. But here, we have a smaller, market. But you guys are utilizing it quite well and really trying to create these networking opportunities and partnerships to where it's not really just give and take. It's really just this kind of symbiotic relationship.
Correct. Our gift shop, we are hopefully going to be offering the ability for local artists to come in and sell on commission. We're going to start a rotating Artist of the Month display. So if you don't really want to put up your artwork for commission, we will be able to at least get your artwork out there and people can come in. So we hope that will attract some of the local art community come out. Even art classes. I mean, what more wonderful place to do it than to do artwork or photographs, do paintings or whatever of the wildlife that we have right there, up close and personal, being able to do it. We just got funding to create our first environmental education scholarship.
Wow.
So hopefully we will get this up online the beginning of the year, where we'll be able to hopefully provide environmental education programs, meet and greets with birds, and tours of our facility for underfunded schools and underfunded libraries and other organizations such as the Boys and Girls Club, so that we can make more of an impact.
Now, when did you take over as interim? Do they drop that title yet?
No, I'm still interim director. So yeah, I'm trying it out, see if it's going to work for me. I've been the fundraiser for a long time, so we're working through it. Make sure I'm staying on point with what the board's goals for Treehouse is and everything like that. So yeah, we'll see. But I started, it's just been about a month, I guess.
Right.
So the last time I was on, I had just gotten the call a day or two before saying, hey, are you going to step up? And I was like, okay.
Not, hey, would you want this? Are you going to step up and do this or what? No, but how incredible. And, how important is that you're still interim director, but all the work that you're doing, I'm sure that maybe somebody might, nudge you on the shoulder and go, can we just drop that? Because right now you guys are developing this really unique, really just interactive tool that really could help propel you guys for the future with having these scholarships. We were talking about some of the things you want to do with the veterans and all the different avenues that you guys really have, because you have a beautiful piece of land. You got a great educational tool with these animals. What's your end goal with it all?
Well, we are also capital campaigning to get our education building up and running. So Luther and Geneva Disher, they donated a large kicking off for a starter campaign to get this going. So it'll be the Luther and Geneva Education Building. Unfortunately, Luther passed away over the summer unexpectedly. So his family has been very dedicated to see this going forward. So if we have anybody who'd be interested in making a donation towards our education building, we are still doing a capital campaign, and we would love to get this up and running. And then it becomes not only something for us where we can do year-round programming that would improve our ability to host a lot of summer camps, but it will also allow us to rent out for birthday parties. So then it would also become something where we might be able to also generate funds through the community involvement coming in. You want to have a retreat for your staff, come on out. We'll have a kitchenette in there so you can prepare food. You can do that, include a program with your retreat. The data is showing that being out in nature, just sitting under a tree for 5 minutes a day will really increase your mental health. improve that. So 8.5 acres in the middle of nature with a lot of birds calling and, being able to interact and make that connection. We have a lot of opportunities, and we're trying to find different ways to connect the community to us rather than just coming out and, oh, it's an eagle or oh, it's
Right.
a fox. We're getting ready to install a sensory trail. So that will be named.
What's that? I'm sorry.
So with our education building, we are going to install a sensory trail. Mel and Shirley McCann passed away. They were volunteers for over 30 years with Treehouse. They unfortunately were not able to have their own kids. Oh. Don't start crying.
You're going to get me crying.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So they weren't able to have kids, and we were trying to find a way to honor their memory. So I came up with this idea that we would install a sensory trail. That way it would benefit a lot of children who come out, and it would have something to do, they would have something to do other than just look at the animals and then everybody go, okay, we're done. This way, if kids come out, they'll have something else to focus on. And so it'll be tied into our education building. And then we have another project I'm not really sure I'm at liberty to discuss, but we're working on also including a naturescape outdoor classroom.
Oh.
So that would all tie into those 3 projects to expand sensory and being out in nature and being a little bit more inclusive. So we've got a lot of projects, and we could really use people who would like to jump on board and be part of this.
Absolutely. And that's why I was kind of asking you, because I'm not too familiar with the sensory stuff, right off the bat. So what is that trail kind of is it all inclusive for somebody maybe with a disability and all, or I don't know what sensory trails really are.
So it's going to entail, we're looking to do upcycling and recycling as part to incorporate this as an environmental organization. It's important that we kind of also, say, hey, recycle your cans, recycle your water bottles.
Right.
Those are the 2 easiest things to do. So we had somebody who donated a bunch of bottle caps. It's really hard to find programs now that are taking the bottle caps to do the bottle cap recycling.
That is true. That are the box tabs. Those are hard to find.
Right. So we went online and we found a lot of outdoor things that you can string them and make little curtains so that the kids can run their hands over there. You can do a lot of sorting because a lot of those are very colorful bottle caps. So you can have things where they'll drop them down PVC tubes into color sorting bins, just to keep them occupied. So it'll be not so much noise, but it'll be sight, sound, and touch is what we're really focusing on. Michelle Camarina, one of our volunteers, she started our first project. She made an outdoor tic-tac-toe. So she just put together a couple of logs, and she cut a tic-tac-toe in the top of one and painted some rocks. And it's been very active. A lot of people have been using that. So that's our first thing, and we have a few more projects we're hoping to get up and running by the end of the winter season.
I'm blown away. I mean, that is just phenomenal. And because the thing is too, before we take a quick break here, you guys aren't really that far away from civilization. I think so many times we think, oh, Dow, or we Jerseyville. No, I mean, my house is right there on Delmar, going into it. I can very easily drive up there. It's not a very far drive, only about 20 minutes, 30 minutes if you're right here in the Riverbend area, probably.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
So get on over there. We're going to take a quick break and reset here. We got Owlfest we're talking about, all the great things you guys are developing, and I'm really blown away, and I mean that. We're talking with Treehouse Wildlife. Our conversation rolls on right here on this 11th day of October. After a quick break so I can put my dentures back in on this Tuesday in Alton.
Judge Ryan Jumper is a protector of the Second Amendment. As a supporter of law enforcement and an advocate of the Constitution, Ryan Jumper has the experience, knowledge, and dedication that we need in Madison County to uphold the law. Vote Ryan Jumper, Tuesday, November 8th, on the back of the ballot.
If you like to get out and go with a friend riding shotgun, the Z-Force line of sports side-by-sides are the perfect machines for you. Whether exploring the backcountry or racing down the trails, these beasts flat out give you more without having to pay for more. Life's too short to stay home.
Are you in the market for new flooring? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with the utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat out the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices. Located on Humbert Road in Alton.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
I still got to guess which microphone's mine. We did all this thing yesterday. I just took everything out of the studio, rewired everything, and now I don't know whose microphone's on, but we're still talking. I'm here with Kelly, Treehouse Wildlife Center, and Owlfest. Let's talk about that real quick and make sure we get everyone's attention to that because that's this weekend, correct?
Correct.
And what days are those times?
It's Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 5 p.m. So unfortunately, we can't really open it up much earlier because we are responsible for several hundred animals. So we got to make sure that they're fed and cleaned and ready to go and meet and greet with our visitors and all that. So yeah, we'll have accessibility. We have a golf cart, so we'll be able to have accessibility parking and shuttle service. So if you come in, just let one of the parking attendants know you would like the shuttle service, and we will be able to get somebody up there, hopefully fairly quickly, with the golf cart and get you to the center. So the front half of our facility is mostly grass, so we'll have parking attendants who will be getting people parked in and out of there. So I've been told where we've been down to 1 parking spot, and it's been like 1 car comes in needing parking, 1 car leaves. So we've been doing some bush honeysuckle removal, so we have opened up a few more spots, so we have a little bit more room to grow.
Were you the one that was telling me that about my burning bush that was an invasive species, and I got really depressed?
Could have been. Yes.
I have told so many. So actually, when we had Joe, and we'll get back to our conversation here, but I just squirrel, type of thing. I'm getting home and I'm thinking about this burning bush conversation all day after you guys came in with the animals. And I'm calling, do you guys know your burning bush is actually an invasive species? And they didn't know either. So all my mom and my grandma are like, what do we do with this thing now? What do we do with it?
Yeah, you should call Scott Moss at Lewis and Clark. He's in charge of the Restoration Ecology program, and he would be able to do a talk and tell you the kinds of things you can replace, like your Bradford pears. They're very, very nice shaped tree, but they are very destructive to the environment. On 255, if you drive down in the early spring, all of the, a lot of people think that's dogwoods blooming. No, those are all those Bradford pears that have escaped from cultivation. So, if you ever really want to have a good conversation about,
we're going to talk to Scott. My dad and him work together, so I think I might have to work the old man. I don't know. Talk to Dad, get the phone number. But we're going to figure that out. All I know is that we have too much to talk about here because you have been, like I said, a month into this interim. I just want to call you the director because I just talking with you. You have this idea of that's really kind of revolutionary when it comes to your guys' types of organizations, and that's this community involvement aspect. So many times that I've noticed, it's a lot of you guys packing up the equipment, packing up the animals, and trying to get them as stress-free as possible over to a location to do these type of educational programs. But now you guys are creating this kind of utopia right here in your your own location. And let's talk about that a little bit more. What are you most excited for out of all the projects that are coming to fruition? What's the one that you're just it's like Christmas, you're counting it down?
Well, the education building really, that will really, really open up our ability to do programming. So many times we have had to cancel due to weather. In the wintertime, we're very limited on what we can do on site. The schools still may have programming going on, but there's quite a few months and weeks in there that we're not out doing off-site programming. So that would allow us to do winter habitat for wildlife and projects that you can do, making frozen wreaths and stuff like that with bird seed, so that you can help our native wildlife that are still here overwintering survive the winter. You know, I mean, there's a lot of awesome projects we could be doing during the winter, and when it's really, really hot and summer camps are miserable being outside. If we had a nice area for the kids to come in, we could still have summer camps during the summer.
That's incredible. And that's kind of what I was leading you into, because to me it's really cool to be, because like I told you before the break, you aren't that far away. You know, I keep thinking there's like this mental, well, it's the same way for us too. I mean, sometimes to go to St. Louis, we got to go all the way over there. Well, heck, sometimes it takes 20 minutes to get over, you know, across the bridge in some of those, you know, neighborhoods, and compared to the 20 minutes to get out of Alton to go to the bridge, you know. But I want to ask you, you guys still have to, are you guys still getting a like record number of animals that you're rescuing and rehabbing? Is that still going?
Yeah, our numbers are going to be far higher this year than it was last year. So after COVID, our numbers just about doubled in animal intake.
Oh,
and so, you know, we thought, well, once people are back outside and back to their lives, the animal intake numbers would drop. But no, they have gotten far more animals coming in this year than we've ever had. So that takes volunteers. Our volunteers are the backbone of what we do. We have a small amount of staff. For what we do, we only have a small paid staff. And with funding, we could probably add another staff member, which would help us alleviate some of the stress of having the addition of animals. But our volunteers are amazing. We have volunteers who will come in on a moment's notice and say, hey, what do you need done?
Right, and that's what I was going to ask you. How many volunteers do you guys actually have? Because I know you have a very limited staff, staff that you guys have. But volunteer-wise, I mean, do you guys have a pretty good group?
Usually we have 40 to 50. So, and these are not volunteers that come in to help with what we do. So a lot of the times I have people who just come in and help with events. So while they're not a weekly volunteer, they are still on our volunteer roles because they do come in and help with events. And like Owlfest is going to be huge. We need just about every it's called an all hands on deck event, because we will have somebody that needs to run the kids games, somebody that will need to run the prize tent, somebody who will need to run the raffles. You know, we have to have somebody in the clinic and somebody at the flight cage. And so we have a lot of positions that we need filled during that large of an event. And then we have transporters. So these are people we just call and say, hey, we have an animal in your area. Can you go out and transport it to the center? And if we had to go out and collect, let's see, last time I think we were getting close to 1,500 animals, maybe 1,400 animals. Yeah. So, and we're small compared to some of the other centers, but that's still a lot for what we do on our budget.
That doesn't seem small to me.
Well, trust me, our staff are kind of like, no, this is not small either. But you know, we'll call and say, hey, but if there was no way we could afford to go out and rescue 1,400 animals. So we have the public who find an animal. So maybe 40 to 50% the public will bring that animal in. So, and then the other animals, we have a list of transporters that we call. So we do have some who rain, sunshine, snow, they'll go out and collect the animal. Location doesn't matter. You know, we've gone all the way down past Carbondale, all the way up past Quincy, all the way over to Springfield. So we're one of the only facilities that has a network of transporters. A lot of other facilities say if you don't bring the animal in,
you can't, there's nothing they can do type of thing.
Right. But gas alone would kill us if we had to go out and rescue all of these animals. So we appreciate when the general public is willing to step up and bring an animal in. And we do understand, you know, you're on your way to work, you've got deadlines, you call in and say this. So we appreciate when you call in, and then we have to figure out how to try to get that animal some help. So
could you imagine? It'd be like $900 you get to Carbondale and back right now. All right, we got a couple of minutes left. Let's recap Owlfest. Let's recap the conversation because there was so much flying at us because you guys are growing and you're building. You have all these great ideas that are coming to fruition. And I think that you have something to do with it, if I say so myself.
Well, we are a team. So if I come up with an idea,
Right.
we hash it out, we talk it, we find out if it's feasible or not. So, but I just want to mention, if you would like to support in your local business,
The stickers.
we are getting ready to kick off a sticker campaign. So we have several different levels, and we'll be getting this up on our website, or you can purchase them through our online gift shop, and we'll have information on our Facebook. But we'll have several different levels of support, and it will be basically you can buy a sticker to put on your business window saying I support rescuing wildlife, and then for family members or individuals, we'll sell them in our gift shop that just say I support saving wildlife. And they're at the printers now getting printed, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have people who are interested in supporting us.
Well, you got somebody right across the table. We'll get one of those stickers. I'll put it right. Well, no one looks there, so we'll put it out on the front door outside.
Thank you.
Okay, this weekend, what time is Owlfest? When are we showing up?
noon to 5 is the time, both Saturday and Sunday.
Awesome. And then for more information, they just check out the Facebook page.
Facebook page or our website. So you're more than welcome to call in 618-466-2990. And if you would like, just to verify any information, or if you're a vendor, you can still call and say, hey, I'm coming in, and I will be happy to email you a vendor form as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping in today. I will be able to pop over to Owlfest this weekend and hopefully get to see some animals and have a good time because it's just right down the road. And then, one last thing. Let's talk. When is the education center coming to fruition? I wanted to hit on that one last time. Was it still being built?
Well, it's about a $400,000 project.
Oh,
We've got
goodness.
$73,000 committed to the project right now. So we're still looking for people who would like to help support, and we'll have a lot of different things. We will have a donation tree. We're gonna see if we can find a local artist to kind of take a native tree and carve it so that we can put it in the corner of the room and then continue branching out, so that we'll also be able to recognize the donors who've really helped get this up and running. So
Wow, that is just incredible. And that was our next guest calling in. He can wait because I know Luis will wait. But that is just incredible. The sensory trails, all of that you guys have to really just accomplish. And I can't wait to see all this come to fruition. All the progress you're making is fantastic. And I'll be able to enjoy it this weekend at Owlfest with you.
All right. Yeah, I'll make sure you find me, and I'll be happy to give you a whole tour and layout of what we're doing.
I would actually, I would really like that a lot. All right, it's 10:27 in the heart of the Riverbend. Thank you for coming in and talking with me today, and thank you guys for hanging out with us. We got our sports correspondent. It's Blues season starting, Kelly. And after the Cardinals kind of, ruined it last weekend, he's got to pay the piper because he's over there in their clubhouse all weekend, season.
But I mean, this is going to be an epic season ending with Pujols. And,
yeah. What a it's like I told him the other day. It's like we won the World Series every time we watched him play this last couple of months. With all the awards getting broken. But we won't tell him that. I'll keep him on the hot seat. Keep him nervous. All right, 10:27. We'll be back with more of our daily show right after this in downtown Alton.
Right. Thank you.
If you like to get out and go with a friend riding shotgun, the Z-Force line of sports side-by-sides are the perfect machines for you. Whether exploring the backcountry or racing down trails, these beasts flat out give you more without having to pay for more. Life's too short to stay home.
Are you in the market for new flooring? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with the utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat out the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices, located on Humbert Road in Alton.
Insurance agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
I just got a new air conditioner, top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Once I got here to Lewis and Clark, I felt connected to this place.
It is about intellectual curiosity and people who want to work with faculty mentors and delve into these areas they're interested in.
And it gives the chance for students to develop a more full version of themselves.
Lewis and Clark for me is going to be the place that I found myself.
All right, we're right back at it here. I'm going to find out which microphone's mine, you know. I'll get there. But hey, we got Luis Noya. Cardinals. Well, they're done, but that doesn't matter because the blue season starts tonight. And, you know, I want to ask you, what is your feeling on the Cardinals season right off the bat, Luis?
End of an era.
Yeah.
End of an era. Disappointment for sure. Didn't help that two key players of the team, and when I say players, one player, one manager, on Friday got starstruck, or what the hell happened there, and the whole night fitting debacle, and Kelsey wasn't right, got scared of Oliver Marmol seemed like he froze too. That's your ball game right there. 6 runs for the Phillies in the 9th. And then on Saturday, a home run and a sac fly did it for the Phillies. And their Phillies are advancing to the NLDS.
Well,
and the Braves and the Cardinals are sent packing home.
Well, and I'm just going to tell you, man, there was nothing weirder than going to bed in the afternoon on Friday and going, you know, we're winning. Life's good. It'll be an okay game. And then all of a sudden I wake up from my nap and it's over and we lost. It was the darndest thing I've ever experienced in my life. But I got to ask you this. What is up with these pitcher checks and these substance checks?
It's I think it's crazy because again, the Mets are getting no hit.
Luis? Luis? That wasn't on us that time. I think he just has bad service. We'll wait for Luis to call back in. But, you know, that's what we're going to talk about whenever Luis gives me another call right back into the show, is the fact that, hey, I mean, you had a manager freeze on Friday who just completely botched the game. And it is on Marmol. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. That game is on him. Luis, are you back with me?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better now. So I'm going to let you go on this one. Or let you have the floor. We'll just circle back. What were you talking about before you got disconnected? You're kind of getting a little distorted on the phone call.
So you asked because you were
the substance check.
Yeah, it's wild. It's funny. It's wild. it's a big nothing. Again, the Mets were getting no hit for the longest time in their elimination game. And Buck Showalter said, hey, check that guy for sticky stuff because his ears are shiny. And the guy, again, here's the funny part of all this. The umpire that checked his ears, remember when all this nonsense started, Scherzer had to have his hair checked.
Right.
The same umpire that checked Scherzer's hair in 2021 was the same umpire that checked the pitcher's ear on Sunday.
What is this guy's deal with getting handsy with everybody?
I don't know. It's the right guy. Like they had the right guy apparently. But yeah, and that's big nothing. Actually, it was worse for the Mets because it put more pump to the pitcher. And yeah, again, at least if you were the Cardinals, you were the third worst elimination possible because you got that with the Mets just going haywire for the last month. And looking like they're gonna be winning the division to you're out after 3 games, and also Toronto. The way they lost that game on Saturday and their season was just bizarre.
How did that game go about?
That game, Toronto started great, 8-1, and then Seattle started just slowly getting back runs, scoring runs, and then Seattle tied the game 8-8 on a flyable center field that the Toronto Blue Jays second baseman ran into George Springer, the center fielder. George Springer gets injured. The second base is in the ground, and that is a bases clearing double.
Oh my God! And we thought we had it rough.
No, yeah. Again, there was worse.
Well,
and again, to circle back to the Cardinals here quickly, it doesn't shock me. Again, we talked about Friday. What do the Cardinals have to do to make a deep run? And I said it. I know it's an obvious player, but he's down. Paul Goldschmidt didn't show up for the last month.
And that's what
and that might be your National League MVP right there.
Well, and didn't they between him and Arenado, didn't they bat weren't they 1 for 17 in 2 games?
1 for 17 and with about 8 Ks.
Oh, you can't win. There's no way he can be successful when that comes. I want to ask you this before we circle back to we move on to the Blues. I want to ask you because I was I was watching on Sunday. Yeah, was it Sunday or Saturday? Saturday. I was watching Saturday the postseason or the post game coverage, and I see you are right next to Yadier Molina, and you got so. I mean, you're right next to him, asking him these questions or taking the audio. But you had a chance. Did you have a chance to kind of see how he was feeling after that? I mean, he walks off. He's down to his last, strike as a potential a baseball, not even a Cardinal, a baseball player. Could have ended his career and the season, and he comes through again, base hit into right center field. How did that feel for him? Did he ever talk about that? I mean, that kind of the weight that was on his shoulders. Or did he kind of play it off and kind of look more as this from a team aspect?
He got asked a question, and he said whenever he got to the batter's box, his mentality was, I am not going to be the last out. I am not going to be the last out. CJ, I was in the bowels of Busch Stadium watching that at bat, and I became nervous for him.
Right.
I said, he cannot be the last out of this. He cannot go out like this. And through Yadier Molina fashion, a single to right field.
It was
perfect. Man, God loves school moments, and then he gets that ovation. And then I said to myself, okay, now they can lose this game.
Right. Well, you're right, because I mean, I think that was the feeling that was in the air after the seventh inning. It was like, this is over.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was cool though to see Pujols and Yachty get their hits in their last at bats ever. And that was neat. But now it's time with the Cardinals ending their postseason run. It kind of is a little bit better for you guys because you aren't going to run around like chickens with your head cut off, going to the Blues, going to Cardinals postseason, going back to the Blues games. Blues start tonight, don't they? Or does the season start tonight?
Season starts tonight.
Okay.
They got a doubleheader on ESPN. I forget the matchups, but they're good matchups. But the Blues start their season with the home opener on Saturday against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Wow. That's that quick?
The Blues right now are in Charleston, South Carolina, I think, in a team bonding trip.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
There you go. I wanted to ask you about this. Did you get a chance
a
to?
Little bit, a little vacation before the season, and new players get to interact with the old players and relationships, whatever. They played golf yesterday. I think they're practicing right now. They actually found a hockey rink in Charleston, so.
Wow. That's actually neat that they're doing that, though. Like you said, for new faces to kind of get acclimated. Really neat. Have you had a chance to watch them preseason yet at all? Or what are you kind of feeling like? What are you hearing for the season ahead?
I haven't watched it practice yet because I get it. Like you alluded, like I was more focused on postseason coverage,
right,
for baseball. But again, this team is going to be again. Perron is gone, so another era of Blues hockey without David Perron. This will be the third time actually. Nick Leddy, the trade piece that from Chicago it's going to be interesting how he plays a full season with the Blues. And remember, Nick Leddy against the Wild was a very good piece for them to win the series. So it's going to be interesting how that plays out. Again, Ryan O'Reilly, second season as the captain. Also, the biggest question in the room is what will Vladdy Tarasenko do?
Right.
That's still a hot topic, and I wasn't in the room, but I got the quotes from my friend Jim Thomas from the Post-Dispatch.
Mm-hmm.
He asked Vladdy, so what's up with you? Around the trade concerns, around how you're going to... And Vladdy snapped at him. Really? Are you asking this right now? Yes. It's a pointed question because you still want out. You haven't said anything that will negate that.
Well, and two.
So that's yes, he is.
And two, this guy created a soap opera for all the Blues fans this last year. The least he can do is answer the question.
Oh yeah, and he's answering with non-answers, you guys don't need to know, whatever. Let's just say play out. No, but you're the star of the team. You're not the captain, but you're the face.
Right. That is.
And here's the thing too. I think he doesn't know how good he has in St. Louis. The fans still like him. But if you we are not a Philadelphia, New York, or LA media contention, but we can play that game too if they want to.
Well, and that's the thing. I was actually listening to Joe Girardi. This was an interview 3 or 4 years ago, and he was talking about, I guess somebody said something to him one time about, the media, in St. Louis, and he just started laughing. He was like, whenever you take a step into a New York clubhouse after a game, whether it's in the NHL, NBA, or whether it's for our team, for baseball, don't talk to me. I think that our media is a lot more friendly. Our fan base is a lot more forgiving than a lot of these other places he's going to potentially go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And again, he wants to go to a winner too. So it's not like he's going to go to get it. If he wants to go to Canada, he's going to go to the best team in Canada. And that will be, Toronto? Toronto media is in hockey spaces is one of the most aggressive media markets out there because it feels like you're in a playoff round because there's an amount of media out there in Toronto.
Oh wow, like every game.
Like every game. Now, again,
Wow.
you got TSN, you got Sportsnet, you got the radio affiliates, you got the reporters. Again, there's a lot. Again, if you're a national hockey writer, it makes sense that you are there in Toronto for most of their games, and in the East Coast too.
Right. Well, and that's the thing that's just so frustrating because I mean, the magic that they had, when they won the Stanley Cup, how great how great Tarasenko was playing and all that. Do you think a lot of it is just how he was playing last year affected his mentality, and now it's just kind of like, what do we do or where do we go from here? Do you think that Tarasenko will stay through the entire season?
That's a good question because here's the thing: Doug Armstrong will not make a trade just to make a trade.
Mm-hmm.
He will like to get something in return. Also, the contract is just too big for any of the teams that Tarasenko wants to play because, again, remember, unlike baseball, the difference between baseball and hockey, salary-wise, there's a cap.
Right.
You go over that cap, there's a lot of penalties a team have to pay. And a lot of these teams don't want to pay those penalties.
Well, and the thing, you're right. I mean, I didn't even realize, you're right. I didn't realize how strict it was or how, kind of, it's not baseball when it comes to that salary cap.
Yeah, you're not only paying salary luxury tax right there if you go over but no, it's again, I think if the right trade is out there, I know Doug Armstrong will pounce, but if not, well, if he's producing like he did last year, he's an asset to this team still.
Without a doubt. I just wish that his mentality would kind of reflect that sometimes. But I'm just the guy that's, crabbing into a microphone while you're the one out there actually talking to the players and actually getting to know them. But that's what it's all about. What do you think they're going to do this season, Luis? Do you think it's going to be a pretty good one for the Blue Notes?
I think they'll make the playoffs for sure. I think around a third, fourth seed, nothing crazy. I think it's going to be interesting how this team is built. Again, Greg Berube team, so defense is a priority, but Greg Berube likes to score too.
Right.
Again, I don't know. Again, Colorado is a beast still, and they're going to do their championship back-to-back run here. Also, Las Vegas getting better again. Minnesota, if they make the playoffs, they're still going to be a tough out like they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the Western Conference it has a lot of teams that, again, even LA, the Kings, they look better this year too on paper. Will that translate to the ice? I don't know. Let's just wait and see. I think they go to win the first round, lose in the second round. So we're playing hockey until May-ish.
Well, and one last thing before I let you go. Is there a reason that the postseason for hockey is like the length of the regular season?
You have to spread out the games because, again,
right.
unlike baseball can do tight series because they do it all the time. Also, it's baseball. Hockey, again, it's like basketball too. The basketball NBA, their postseason is around the same length as hockey. So,
right, you're right.
Yeah, and if you want to play best of 7 series all the time, that will lengthen and the amount of teams, again, half the league makes it to the playoffs too. So, baseball, I think, found. And I hate to say this, but I think I would like the new format.
I do
going forward because it creates drama.
I do, but I want your take on this. Don't you think that because I heard both arguments, because I'm kind of like you. I'm leaning towards I'm in favor. But is it kind of weird not having every division represented in the playoffs? Like when you get to the division series, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, again, yeah, it's weird. I never thought about that, but again, you still got what? Two teams from the East. You got the Central in the again, the NL Central. Again, the Cardinals put all their ships to win the NL Central, and to win the NL, you and I could have assembled a team that would have been competitive in the NL Central because they were the Cubs, the Pirates, and the Reds all started the season saying, "Yeah, we're not going to compete."
Right, you're right. You're absolutely right. And you know, that's where I'm at. I am right there with you, man, on it. I really am. Hey, I got to let you go. We're running up close here. What are we on the lookout for in sports this week before we talk to you again on Friday?
Hey, how about those Illinois Fighting Illini? They're ranked. They are good. They won a barn burner on Saturday against Iowa, 9-6.
You know, you made a lot of people here go, yeah, thank you, Luis.
Yeah, no, yeah, a little shout out to the people in Champaign. They're doing good things there. Mizzou has a week off, so that's good for all the Mizzou fans too, so they don't have to watch the team lose again for a week. Again, hockey is starting this weekend. I think my math is wrong, but about 2 or 3 weeks, college basketball starts their preseason.
Wow, we're getting close. Real quick,
Yeah.
Luis, before you say goodbye, did you hear Mizzou's new fight song?
No, what is it?
And then they all come out of the tunnel. There you go.
Hey, at least it's not like our buddy Ray Hartman that has the clapping noise.
That's a conversation for another time. 10:51. Let's take a break so I can wrap this show up and try to stay on the air in the heart of the Riverbend. That's downtown Alton, and we'll be back after this.
Once I got here to Lewis and Clark, I felt connected to this place.
It is an intellectual curiosity, and people who want to work with faculty mentors and delve into these areas they're interested in.
And it gives the chance for students to develop a more full version of themselves.
Lewis and Clark, for me, is going to be the place that I found myself.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Are you in the market for new flooring? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices. Located on Humbert Road in Alton.
I just got a new air conditioner, top of the line.
Mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I. Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Heating and cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Mungan Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Mungan Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Mungan Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com. Judge Ryan Jumper was recommended and highly rated in the most recent poll conducted by the Illinois State Bar Association. Ryan Jumper is a supporter of law enforcement and an advocate for the Constitution. Join me in voting for Judge Ryan Jumper on Tuesday, November 8th on the back of the ballot.
When it comes to the C-Force line of ATVs, there truly is a seat for every behind. Whether you want to get started with the Ride C-Force 400 or ride with the big boys on the C-Force 800XC, you'll find the right machine for you and your wallet.
Oh, little Paula Abdul never hurt anybody. 10:56 right back here in the heart of the Riverbend on this 11th day of October. Almost forgot what day it is. You know, many of us blame our bad habits on our parents, right? You know, we say, oh, it's the way they were raised. Well, it might go back further than that, like way further. A group of scientists say they have found a Neanderthal DNA that likely contributes to behavioral patterns around smoking, alcohol consumption, and sleeping. An international team led by researchers from the Estonian University of Tartu analyzed Neanderthal DNA associations that traced a wide range of human habits and psychological patterns, and determined that Neanderthals carried multiple variants that substantially increase the smoking risk in people today. They feel the association of Neanderthal DNA with alcohol and smoking habits might help us to unravel the evolutionary origin of addictive and reward-seeking behavior. They say their results might require more analysis, but it's important to note that sleep problems and alcohol and nicotine use all have been consistently identified as common risk factors for, quote, a range of neurological and psychiatric disorders. Which to me is actually kind of interesting. I'd really be curious to hear how, how that study goes. And another thing I saw as we're wrapping up this show is, well, work from work. Who knew? Over half of us actually enjoy going to work. According to a new survey, a poll of 2,000 United States office workers looking into what a return to the office looks like found that 54% actually prefer heading to work rather than working from home or part of the time. As for what aspects of the office that people like the most, number one was the tech equipment. Amen to that. And such as printers and scanners and faster internet. And that was 31% of people. And followed by coworkers, work computers, the conversations they have at the office, and, well, like I just said, the fast internet connection. A spokesperson from Industrious, which commissioned the survey, said the results show that in spite of the fact that there have been reports that make it seem like we all like to be able to work from home forever, most people don't actually want to spend the next 10 years working from their couches at home. So there's a little bit of hope. And I just saw that and thought that was kind of a an interesting little tidbit story that I wanted to share with you. Another thing that I saw that was actually quite interesting was this. It's definitely one of the guilty pleasures of parenting, and that's hunkering down with your kids after a long day to watch TV. But maybe we shouldn't feel guilty about it at all. According to a new study, watching television with your kids is actually beneficial. Researchers from the University of Portsmouth and another university said that they've found that it's actually better for the kids to watch TV and all of that with their parents. Hey, I wanted to wrap up that story, but I couldn't because, well, we're almost out of time. Tomorrow we got Takario Maya joining us and so much more fun. We got a jam-packed week of shows, great conversations to boot, and I'm really excited for that. But there's only one thing left for me to do, and that's to tell you I'll see you tomorrow. Right back here in the heart of the Riverbend. That's downtown Alton at the RiverBender building. It's been a great show today, and it's all because of our guests and all of you. So on that note, have a great day, stay dry, and try your very best just to stay out of jail.